Jamie was my second pregnancy. I went into labour in the early hours of the morning. It was all very relaxed. As the labour progressed, my waters broke, and there was meconium in my waters, which, unbeknown to me, meant that there was a sign that Jamie was getting into distress. The midwife, and she started to panic, and well, I could hear her shouting in the corridor that we needed help in here. A consultant came in, took one look at me, and ordered an emergency cesarian straight away. And that's the last I remember before I woke up, and Jamie was in the special care unit. We really thought that, well, maybe he will, make a really good recovery. We don't know that there's going to be, nobody had ever said that he was brain damaged or that there was going to be long-term problems. Went home, he was healthy enough, he was feeding, and he must have had another checkup, and this was when Jamie was about 6 months old, with his consultant, and he sat us down and he said, Jamie has cerebral palsy. And I mean, Mick and I were both devastated because nobody had even hinted at the fact that there would be any long-term problem. It wasn't until much later, and he was going to a childminder, and it was the childminder that actually put me in touch with Helen from Medilaw, and we got in contact because it was becoming more apparent that he wasn't going to develop as we had hoped. He wasn't sitting by then, he wasn't walking, he wasn't talking. So that was why we decided to sort of invite Helen to come and see us. So we had to take Jamie to hospital, and he had to go into general anaesthetic to have an MRI, which was the first time he'd had a general anaesthetic, and it was really upsetting. He had the MRI, and then the results came through, and to be told that if he'd have been delivered 15 minutes earlier, he would have been completely fine was awful. It was what we needed for his case, but to have that written in black and white that those 15 minutes meant what we have now compared to what we could have had. Sorry. It wasn't too long after that Helen phoned me and said, I've got really good news, the hospital have admitted liability, and I just broke down in tears. I was happy, I was sad, but it was what we wanted to hear, and it was just a weight off of our shoulders. The first big thing that we bought once Jamie's compensation was paid out was the house. And being involved with the extension works that were done and the improvements for Jamie meant that we could specify that doorways were extra large, really wide. It's a huge life-changing thing for all of us. His bedroom is lovely. He's really comfortable in there. We've got the room to wheel him in his wheelchair, have a changing bed in situ that you can take him from his bedroom into his walk-in shower, to bath him, bring him back, take him then through into the hydrotherapy pool, which he loves. It's freedom for him, not being strapped into something, and is a real big change to his quality of life, that he can actually go in the pool and be supported by somebody but not actually be strapped into anything. It's lovely for him. Jamie has been a big part of stock cars. Everybody that goes stock car racing, not just the drivers, the spectators, lots of people know Jamie. Everybody comes up, chats to him. One lovely man that we know that races, he actually organised for Jamie to be a passenger in a two-seater stock car. Jamie absolutely loved it. And the number of spectators that were there actually cheering him on at the time and who came round, it was amazing. So one of the big things that we really wanted to make a difference to him was to have enough room at home to have the stock cars and the transporter kept at home, which is what we managed to get. And it's made a huge difference to Jamie's life. He can now choose if he wants to go and help with the stock cars or watch them working on the stock cars and getting ready for a meeting. He can, because it's just out in the backyard. Once we'd got through the hearing and Jamie's compensation was paid out, the support doesn't stop there. It's ongoing. For example, we've just purchased a lovely converted American motorhome, which enables Jamie to still take part in a hobby that we've been doing as a family since he was born, motor racing. There are no facilities at the track that would support him. So we've had the chance to get this motorhome that's fully converted, has a hoist and all the changing needs that Jamie has that we need. To be able to purchase that, though, we had to get the solicitors, Helen and Sharon and the team, to liaise with the Court of Protection to put forward a case to enable us to purchase it. They helped us put a good case forward, and we've actually been using the motorhome now for 12 months, and it's made a massive difference. Schooling was a big issue with Jamie because he's so bright. We were advised from a very early age to push for him to go mainstream schooling because he was so bright. And that was a fight in itself, but we did it with their help. Again, we referred back to the solicitors for advice on colleges for him post 18. We went and saw National Star because it was more local, and Jamie loved it from the time we saw it. He went for an overnight stay, didn't want to come home. And if we hadn't got the team at CL Medilaw offering us advice, I'd never have known about it. And he's been at National Star now for 12 months and absolutely loves it. Luckily, the solicitors, Helen acts as Jamie's deputy, which means that she liaises with the Court of Protection, who are there to protect Jamie and his interests. So no unscrupulous people can take advantage of him and spend his money. It does put your mind at rest that Helen and the team are there to look after his money and liaise with the Court of Protection to make sure that nothing happens to it. It's always there for him and for his needs. The outcome at the end is a positive one. We as a family are far happier, far less stressed, and it just has made our lives as easy and as best they can be given Jamie's condition. Having a child that's disabled affects the whole family, but now that we have a converted house, we have the motorhome that enables us to carry on with our hobbies as we want. We as a family unit are far stronger, far happier, and it's been well worth it.